All this filament, an empty printer, let's print what you want. It's Filament Friday. This week's Filament Friday print was suggested by two different subscribers, Renee Solis and James Stewart. It's a test print submitted to Thingiverse by user Control V. This test print isn't very large, but it's got a lot of features. It's got items that come to a point, it's got holes, it's got hex holes, it's got star holes, it's got text that goes all the way through, text that goes partially through. I mean, there's a lot here to test, even bridging and angles. So let's see how it does. Now to make this even more interesting, I used both XYZware and Simplify 3D to create the sliced files. I did them both at medium setting, which is a 0.2 layer height and 30% fill. I didn't do any major adjustments. So let's see how they turned out. So first up, the XYZware. It looks pretty good. The bridging is a little bit shallow, but overall looks pretty good. Simplify 3D, the bridging failed. The rest of it looks great, but the bridging completely failed. Now let's look at it from a different angle. Here you can see the sides, the pyramid, and the cone come to a point on the XYZware. This was actually really good. Simplify 3D, same thing. Everything looked very similar. In fact, if it wasn't for the bridging, I couldn't tell these two apart. Here's a front view. And you can see the letters. You can read the V-test on this one, and you can read it on the Simplify 3D. The holes, the wiggly lines, everything looks really good between these two prints. And from the final side, you can see the fingers at the top. Not quite as good on the XYZware. They look a lot straighter on Simplify 3D, right in the middle of the print, those fingers. But overall, I'd say XYZware did about the same, if not slightly better job than Simplify 3D. So here's the two side by side. You can see a little bit of stringing on the Simplify 3D, but overall this was a good print. So either way, Simplify 3D or XYZware, this was a great test for the Vinci 1.0. And based on what I've read, what they were looking for in this test print, I would say it passed with like an 85 to 90%. So I don't know, I don't have anything else to judge it against, but overall I'm really pleased with how well this print came out, and it fits with some of the other test prints that I've done in previous videos. Now I did find an M5 hex sized nut, this thing here, and when I put it in the XYZware it slips out, but when I put it in the Simplify 3D it actually picks it up. So it is a little tighter, just slightly, on the Simplify 3D, but just slightly. But in both cases it fits really good. It wouldn't turn, it wouldn't slip. So even that hole looks pretty good on both these designs. And if it wasn't for that bridging, to be honest with you, I couldn't tell them apart. I actually marked the Simplify 3D one just so I wouldn't get them confused after this one printed. But the bridging actually, makes it easy to tell. So overall, I think this was a great test print, great suggestion. And if anyone's still wondering how good a Simplify 3D works versus XYZware, obviously I don't have a complete answer. Now the one advantage is this is as good as you're going to get out of the XYZware because there's nothing really more I can adjust. Where Simplify 3D, I have a lot I can adjust. I can adjust the speed, I can do different layers and set different temperatures. I didn't try any of that. I have been playing with that, so before you put a bunch of comments of what I should do to get better prints, I have been playing with it. I've actually been printing a bunch of chess pieces because that turned out to be a really good test print for me on my Da Vincis. And when I did that with Simplify 3D, trying different layers, different speed, different temperature, I'm still not seeing a major difference. Now it doesn't say that Simplify 3D is, I'm not saying it's a bad software at all. I'm saying I haven't fully evaluated and I haven't fully understand how to get the best use out of that software for the DaVinci. So I'm still working on it, and that's why I still don't have a great evaluation video for you. I'm still working through it. So hang in there, it's coming. One other thing, I will not have a Filament Friday video for next Friday. I actually am doing some traveling for work, and I also have to replace the bearings, actually the bearing mounts on my original DaVinci. The two front ones broke. So I'm actually going to print new ones and then fix it and show you how to do that. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. That way I know you're watching. Especially if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please subscribe. And then go back and watch some of my earlier videos. I cover a lot of topics on how to get your DaVinci to print better and just general use of Tinkercad and 3D printing in general. Now, one other thing that I've noticed is when I first launched this channel, I was like 99% male and 1% female. That was the viewers, not me. Now I'm seeing that it's 95% male and 5% female, and I love that. That is great. I want to see 50-50 because 3D printing is for everybody. It's for mom, it's for dad, it's for the kids, boys, girls, men, women. There's so many things you can 3D print, and I'm trying to help everybody get started. I don't go hopefully too deep into the geek stuff, but I want to cover enough so you know how to get good prints out of your printer. And that's why I've chosen a low-cost printer to work from. I mean, I'd love to have a high-priced printer to test out and show you, and I've seen some really good prints come out of things like the Ultimaker 2 and some of the better printers. But you're talking, close to $3,000, $2,500 to $3,000. It's a lot of money. So, as a family, just printing stuff, printing toys for the kids, or little brackets for around the house, or just fun stuff, doll furniture for a miniature house, things like that. Do you really need that fine resolution? What I'm finding is this thing prints very good for a lot of what you want to use it for. So that's why I'd like to see this channel grow. So if you're a guy, tell your girlfriend, tell your wife, tell your female friends to check out the channel. If you're a female, tell your other female friends. Tell your mom. Tell anybody that you think would enjoy learning about 3D printing. I'd love to see that demographic become 50-50. So that's all I got for today. I'll see you next time.